Well, hello, everybody. This is the Miss Analytical Radio Show with your host, the one and only Miss Analytical. Yes, I said it just like that. Yeah, so I've been away for a while, and really it's because I've been working really hard. I wake up real early in the morning, and I'm not talking about like 5 a.m. real early. I'm talking about like sometimes 2:50 a.m. in the morning to get to work at 5 a.m. in the morning so that I could do my 8 hours and then clock out around about 1:30. Sometimes I clock out a little bit earlier, sometimes I clock out a little bit later, but all I will tell you is my paycheck is fat, and that's a great thing. So that's why I've been away, not really making videos and doing commentary, but so much has happened since the last month or two when I made my last video. So I really want to get into it real quick, and I want to talk about SNL and Tiffany Haddish making history on the show. For those of you who don't know who Tiffany Haddish is, she's a comic, and she's been in the comedy game for over a decade. She goes back to like the mid 2000s. And really, she really picked up steam when she was at the Laugh Factory out in LA, the Comedy Store out in LA. But she made her rounds nationally and also internationally as well. But really, I would say I first heard of Tiffany Haddish back in the early 2010s when she used to do like guest appearances on different comedy shows that used to be featured on cable. That's when I first noticed her. And I was like, she's pretty funny. Like, to me, she didn't have me rolling on the floor laughing my ass off funny. But the stuff that she said I could see her having a name for herself, breaking out and going mainstream. I said that. But really, I'm going to go a little bit forward and talk about Tiffany Haddish I'm not going to even say the mid 2010s. I'm going to say around about 2013. And this is why it's really important that her making history as the first black female comic to ever host SNL is major. Back in October of 2015, there was a lot of debate, a lot of it was really intensified about black women not being part of the cast of SNL. There's only been about 5 black women as part of the cast. It was Denitra Vance, who was the first one to be a full repertory cast member. There was another lady before her, but she was only there for one season. She was in that season with Eddie Murphy. I can't think of her name. Then fast forward, you go to Ella Claghorn, who I absolutely loved on the show. I grew up watching her. Afterwards, it was Maya Rudolph, who, even though she goes as biracial, she's classified as black when it comes to this, and her mom many represent. She was on there the longest. And then afterwards, it wasn't pretty much anybody until Sashia Zameda and then Leslie Jones. So it's been about 6. Now, at that time, it was only 4 black women who was on the show. In October 2015, Kenan Thompson, he gave an interview and he was basically saying, I'm the only person that they really have on the show to represent black women. They don't have black women on the show. The guy, Jay Farrell, who was his co-host, who I absolutely love, and I do miss him on the show because I do think the show is dry since he departed 2 years ago. Basically, he was saying that they really need to add a female cast member because it's not fair. Number one. Number two, there's a lot of great black female talent out there. And 3, it is racist. And 4, I'm tired of seeing black men in dresses impersonating black women on the show. Time out for that. And he did catch a lot of heat for that too. And I think that was the reason why he was no longer on SNL after the end of that season. I think it was the end of season 41. I think it was the end of season 41. He wasn't on there anymore. He got cut. And I think that's where it stemmed from. But he threw out a name and he said, I think Darmira Brunson should be on the show. And I agree because I know about Darmira Brunson since 2012. And that woman is funny and she should have been the one to be picked. Now, I'm mentioning all of this because SNL had an open casting for black women to audition for a spot on being a cast member of SNL. And one of the black women that was there was Leslie Jones, who she went on to star on the show, and you see her there now to this day. But another woman was Tiffany Haddish. She was part of that audition. You also had Darmira Brunson, she was there. Brisha Webb was there. And it was a couple of people. Oh, and the other girl who I like from the show, loosely, exactly Nicole. I can't think of her last name, and I know it, but I can't think of it right now. But she has a show on MTV, and I think it's really funny, even though that show has gotten a lot of criticism. But that's a funny woman, and I would have had liked to see her on SNL, even if it was just like one season, because I think she's really funny. But I feel as though what they did with the show wasn't right with the auditions. And what they did with the auditions, I didn't like it. You had all these girls like Tiffany Haddish auditioning, even Leslie Jones. But the person that they picked was Shazia Zameda, and she wasn't even at the audition at all. And Tiffany Haddish was the one that called it out. She was like, wait a minute, she wasn't there. Where did y'all get her from? And for those who are avid watchers of SNL, like myself, she's not on there anymore this season. And she was there for 4 seasons. Technically 3.5 if you want to talk in real time. And a lot of people have said that she was probably a token. And I didn't want to say it because the worst thing to be is a token. To be picked because they needed somebody who was black. But I think that once Leslie Jones got added to the cast and how she rose, not just on the show, but even like having like a household name in some instances and making movies, I feel as though SNL kind of saw that they didn't really need Shazia Zameda. I don't know if she left amicably or if she just left, or if she got cut. But I think that more than likely, I think she just bowed out. I think she saw I was used as a token, or I was just used, period. And they didn't really feature her. After the 2nd season, they didn't really feature her anymore. Like, there would be some episodes where she wasn't featured at all. She was repertory, meaning that she was paid because she wasn't a feature player. So she didn't get paid per appearance. She got paid pretty much like on a salary level. Don't know how much money they make, but she did get paid. But I felt like that was just sad. You know, they could have, if she was part of the cast and auditions, then it would have been, okay, fine. At least she was there. She wasn't really a token. But y'all had all these named women auditioning, and then y'all picked her. And then y'all didn't really feature this girl like that. Like, the only memorable skit she had was the Janelle skit. And so I think that's why it's really interesting that Tiffany Haddish made history, because she was in that audition. She didn't get picked. She ends up being on the Carmichael show, which, I mean, I saw a couple of episodes, and I would say that the people besides Jared Carmichael was funny, but he himself, he wasn't really funny. He had other people carrying him, and I knew the show wasn't going to last. I knew it wasn't. It's just sad that it couldn't last at least 5 years. But she makes Girls Trip, and that's like her breakout role. And I feel as though she's going to go on to being the Kevin Hart of comedy. I don't even want to say black comedy. I'm going to say comedy in the comedy circuit. Now, her making history is important to discuss because we've had this show in existence for 40, technically it's been 42 years, but it's had 43 seasons. Of all the hosts on the show, there's only been 10 black women to host. Now 11, including her. But before that, it was 10. Of the 10, you can really count on your fingers. It's Cicely Tyson. It was Oprah Winfrey. And then many years later, it was Queen Latifah. And she's the only one to host more than once. After that, before that, it was Halle Berry. Then it was Queen Latifah. Then it was Janet Jackson. Then it was Queen Latifah again. Then it was Rosario Dawson, Maya Rudolph, and it was the lady Kerry Washington from Scandal. And that show that she hosted, except for one sketch, that was a very good show that she hosted. That was a very good episode she hosted. I still watch it when it comes on. I still watch it. Number 10 was the one that I had predicted many years ago. And when I saw her being announced that she's going to host SNL, I was so happy. And she's my favorite actress, and that is Taraji P. Henson. And her show was really good also, especially that cookie sketch. Even though a lot of people was talking shit about it, I thought it was funny. I don't care what anybody says. But she's a 10. And now Tiffany Haddish is the 11th. But she's the first black female comic. Oh, Gabourey Sidibe. That's who it is. That's who it is. That's who it is. She was number 7. She was number 7 to host SNL. That's my flub. I apologize for that. She was number 7. Her episode was pretty good also too, except for that last one when she was at the Precious Q&A and Will Forte was making them racist gestures. I wasn't feeling that one, but everything else in that episode was pretty good. And she served talent. But with Tiffany Haddish being the first black comedian hosting SNL in 43 seasons, that's bad. Because you had people like Whoopi Goldberg that could have did it, who won an Oscar. You had, even though they say Wanda Sykes, she could have, being that she came from the Chris Rock show. I don't know if she would have worked out there. I can't say, because she really hasn't done anything like major that's really been like critically acclaimed. She started on a lot of shows, but she's never really been like the headliner of a critically acclaimed show. So I can't say that. But Whoopi Goldberg should have done it. I don't know why. Maybe her own personal reasons, or maybe they never asked. You know, sometimes like that show can be a little very political. But to me, the woman that I thought should have done it, should have broke that barrier. Not saying anything against Tiffany Haddish, but the woman that I thought was going to do it was Monique when she won the Oscar for Precious. I really thought she was going to be the one to host, because usually after you win an Oscar, they do ask you to host. But I think she didn't do it because of the fact that this reputation was being spread about her that she was too difficult to work with. And it's been said that Lorne Michaels didn't really get along with some of the black females that he worked with. And he doesn't really feel that comfortable working with black females. Therefore, that's why he doesn't really cast them like that, nor does he ask them to host. I can't say it's true. Don't work in the industry. Never met the man. Never been to an SNL taping. I can't say that. But that's been the rumor going around for decades. But I really thought Monique would have broke that barrier. And when I saw that she didn't even get asked to host SNL, that's when I thought it was going to be a bad thing. I said, this ain't going to really turn out too good for Monique winning an Oscar. But, like I said, back to Tiffany Haddish, because it is about her. I apologize if I'm going back and forth, but it's everything is connected, and everything that I'm saying is for purposes of this video. So